Hey guys, welcome back. It is week number 3 in the month of self-control, also known as November. And we've been talking in the last couple of weeks about definitions and then also our mindset and our core values. What are those things that make us tick? Or when we say, well, that's just how I roll. What is our core value? And we talked about comfort, we talked about pleasure, we talked about honesty, integrity. And so when we're really honest about what it is that is the guiding principle, those thoughts and beliefs that we have that dictate our behavior, when we really understand that and we bring that in alignment with a plan, that's when we can have self-control. Because oftentimes what trips us up is that, as we talked about last week, we will march ourselves right to the end of the cliff, and then we're in this sudden death overtime situation where it's like, okay, should I or shouldn't I? Should I have sex with this person I'm not really in love with, or I am in love with them but I really want to wait? Or should I have this chocolate cake even though my diabetes is out of control? Should I participate in the sale even though my credit cards are already maxed? And we don't put those systems in place ahead of time. We're not proactive in aligning our mindset and our core values with the plan or the structure. That's what trips us up 9 times out of 10. So for example, let's talk about finances. So if we have a budget, and a budget is something that has categories. For some people, a budget is a 4-letter word. They hear like restraint and I can't do anything. A budget is actually a plan, so that you can plan for that vacation. You can plan to remodel the house or whatever it is that you want to do. And so you have those categories that you assign money to, a certain amount of money every month or every year, to plan for that vacation or plan for a rainy day or education or whatever it is. And the idea is that when you put a certain amount of money per month for eating out, for medical expenses, for rent and utilities and so on, and when the money in that category is used up, then that means that for the rest of the month, there's no more eating out, or there's no more shopping, right? Or the groceries, you have to put a limit on it. So when we get into trouble is when we don't have this plan, or we override that plan because we have a different core value or a different mindset that is in opposition to this plan. Then we get in trouble with our finances. We start getting into credit card debt, and we have too many credit cards. We can't pay our mortgage, and then education expenses are off the table. And so it's really important to align our core values and to align our mindset with the plan. They have to go together. So we talked about last week, maybe your core value is comfort. So if that's your core value of comfort, right? So if you are a person who uses food to be comfortable or to self-soothe, right? Then how do you change your core value? How do you change your mindset on that? Well, you would look for comfort in other places and replace it. So that way, if you go on a diet, you don't feel like you're restricting yourself. You don't feel like you're not giving yourself love. You're going to get that in other areas and replace it, so that food isn't the only way that you are feeling that comfort or getting that self-soothing. And it's the same with a budget or finances. So if our core value, if our mindset is that money is a tool, and that we want to please people, right? So let's say that we're out to dinner, we have a budget, but then we override the budget because we want to please the people at the table. So we buy the drinks, or we buy the appetizers, or we buy the entire dinner, so that we're pleasing to other people, but then we're not paying attention to the budget. That's because we're in opposition. Our core values and our mindset is in opposition to the plan or the system. And so therefore the system doesn't work, the plan doesn't work, and we ultimately fail. So when we put a system in place, we have to go with who we are. We have to go with how we roll. We have to go with what makes us tick. So what if how we roll is a detriment? How do you change that mindset, or how do you change that core value? So if we go back to the budget, and let's say that we are a people pleaser, and we money is a tool to make our family happy, to make other people around us happy, then we can still look at money as a tool, but we can replace that happiness with other things. So let's say we never have money for vacation because maybe we are overspending in a different area that's making people happy. So we could change our mindset and say, I'm still going to use money as a tool. I'm still going to use it to make people happy, but I'm actually going to put it towards saving for the vacation and using it that way, as opposed to this immediate gratification that keeps getting me in trouble time after time after time. And then we look at that people-pleasing aspect of us, and we look at that nature that we have, that money is something that we use to self-soothe or to buy things or to make ourselves look good. We can take a look at our self-esteem, we can take a look at our identity, we can take a look at why it is that we feel the need to please people and worry about other people's opinions. There are things that we can do so that we can bring our mindset in alignment with the plan, because you will never be able to follow a budget. You can go to all the money classes, you can go to Dave Ramsey, take the Total Money Makeover class, which I highly recommend. It's a great course, but it's never gonna work. Your finances are not gonna be in a better position with this plan because you're not in alignment with it. You've got another agenda, your heart and your emotions. And when we talked about in week 1 in the definitions, our whole body is involved. Our whole body is involved when we want to please somebody and take out our wallet and pay for whatever to make somebody happy. When we're making out and it's like, should we have sex or should we not? The buffet is right in front of us and we're starving. We have to learn to replace those comforts, those pleasures, those people-pleasing tendencies in other areas, and take it away from the one that is tripping us up, that area that we just don't have self-control. If it's food, don't bring it in the house. And I know that sounds silly, and I know that sounds easier said than done, but you would be surprised how many times I have been in people's houses who are trying to lose weight, and you open up their cupboard and it's full of cookies and crackers and chips, and they say, oh, I don't eat this stuff. I'm like, then why is it in your house? Like, who spends money on things and then throws it straight into the trash without opening the package? Nobody. Or I used to go to my grandmother's house, and she always invariably would have Jerry Springer or Divorce Court or something on, and every single time she would say, oh, I don't watch these programs. These people are just so silly, and I just can't believe it. But it was always on. So she actually was watching it. Listen, I do this. There are so many things. I'm like, right now it's exercise. I have no self-control over getting myself out the door at this moment. And I have every excuse in the world. It's cold, it's hot, it's raining, it's windy, I just washed my hair, right? Because I'm not putting a plan in place to support the way that it is, that my core values and my mindset. My mindset is, part of it is comfort. My mindset is other things are important right now, and so I have to change that. I have to get those feelings away from exercise and let exercise be exercise, and get some of my satisfactions and some of my wants and desires in other places, so that I'm not attaching those and then self-sabotaging and not accomplishing what I want to accomplish. I hope that made sense. That our system has to be in complete alignment with our core values and our mindset. So come back next week. We're going to talk about conviction, and we're going to wrap this up with putting everything into place with our convictions. Okay? Thanks, guys. Take care. I'll see you next week.